Let's move this thing over here. Okay. Gonna check on YouTube first. YouTube should be always good, but just to check. Okay, looks like we're live on YouTube.
Okay, I think the ping went out, so I'm gonna just, yeah, it did. One sec, I'm just gonna drop the invite in all the chats anyways.
I'm gonna check on YouTube first. YouTube should be always good, but just to check.
Throw a quick note, so I'm gonna just...
Okay, YouTube's good. Check out TikTok. Hopefully it doesn't die out on me again. Yeah, so Lula is working. Now, last time I used this, like TikTok was kicking me off. It's probably too hacky. Come on. Is it gonna work? Oh, okay. It looks like I'm live on TikTok too. 10 people in, nice, okay. Where's the live? Yeah, I'm definitely live.
Okay.
Just checking.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. This is good.
Let's do it. I'll play it.
All right, yeah, go ahead. Thanks. Yeah, play the intro. Let's do this. Let me update the titles maybe, or on TikTok. How do I update it? Here. There. Apply. Okay. All right. So, welcome everyone. Hope you're having a good day today. This is yet another episode of the BaconDAO live community call, which happens every Sunday. Today is, I don't know, June something, 13th. Yeah, so as usual, I'll be hosting this, but we have a whole list of our team members from BaconDAO going through all the research for the week with regards to Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoin, TA, and price action. We have, let me just go through the announcement list here. We have, of course, as usual, Hassan going over Crypto 101, basics for beginners, the events we had this week. We have Viper going through latest news in the BSC land, so new farms, apes, opportunities. We have Mahi going through Polkadot news, same thing, the latest opportunities for the week. We have Luna, or American Crypto Wits, going through low cap and layer 2 stuff as usual, covering a little bit of Bitcoin dominance as well to get ahead on the all season narrative, see if when low cap altcoins start to pick up again. And then I'll briefly go through my current outlook on Bitcoin and Ethereum as well, and then we'll do a Q&A in the end. Okay, TikTok cut me off again, so that's fine. Let's just stick to YouTube and Discord and Twitter. So for everyone that's here, welcome. Yeah, let's get started. Please leave your questions in the chat whether it's in Discord events chat or on the YouTube chat. We will talk about everything in the end. So without further ado, let's get started. Let me just find today's slides here. I should have them. Yeah, right here. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so first off, I think we have Hassan for Crypto 101, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so Hassan, if you can hear me, just come online and let's have a chat.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yep. You sound good.
Yeah, hey everyone. Hope you all are having a nice day. This previous week at Crypto 101, we talked about DeFi and the different parts of DeFi and the different sections of DeFi. So borrowing and lending, DEXs, derivatives, decentralized insurance, and etc. And we talked about which platform offers which service and how some of these platforms work, right? So for borrowing and lending, we talked about Aave and Liquidity, or for DEXs, Uniswap and PancakeSwap and etc. For derivatives, we talked about synthetics, mirror protocol, injective, and stuff like that. And we went through how those stuff work. We also compared DeFi and CeFi and saw the differences between the two systems. And overall, although DeFi is still pretty good and etc., we still see that there is a lot of room for DeFi to grow in many different directions. But this coming week, we're going to talk about NFTs, what they are, how they work, their use cases, and how they could be used in different situations. You see Genshards using NFTs for one reason, and then you see Engine using NFTs for gaming, etc. So there's a lot of there's a lot of ways that you can utilize these NFTs and etc. So I welcome you all to come join me this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UTC for Crypto 101. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, Hassan. Really appreciate you going over happenings this week with regards to Crypto 101 education. Just a quick reminder, we do have a Crypto 101 curriculum that's led by Hassan. So all these topics that we cover every week, it's just a brief of the in-depth lessons and with voice chat hosted by Hassan that happens week after week with different topics, and all of these will be accessible as part of our BaconDAO membership post our official token launch. So stay tuned for that, and we try to keep everything just updated with the latest trends. For example, DeFi, CeFi, and everything that we think are useful to Crypto 101 or new people to crypto. So, okay, next up we have Viper going over the latest news and opportunities in BSC. Viper, what's up?
What's up, everybody? I guess I should start off with the flash loan attacks this week. Fortunately, I only know of one, Evo DeFi. But it seems like everyone's hopping on the trend of using Oracle to kind of bypass this flash loan attack, so that's good. Also, I posted something this week in the Gems channel. Binamon. I'm not the biggest fan of NFTs, especially not on, especially on BSC, but it's a monster NFT card project. They have a pre-sale tomorrow, so if you're interested in that, especially since Binance continues to support NFTs and post about them, that could possibly do well. I know that I think there were dogs that were launched on Bakery Swap. Those did well. I think they 10x like the first day. So if you're interested in NFTs, especially on BSC, check it out. Also in the news, Iron Finance has been killing it. If you don't know who they are, they're essentially a protocol that started off on BSC and has now also added Polygon to their deck of cards, and they've been doing well. They're a form of stablecoin and also a form of algo stablecoin, and I'll go into it more later, but They've been doing really well, especially on Polygon with their APYs.
Yeah.
1inch has become a freaking powerhouse. I mean, this is why I was always so bullish on 1inch. They're introducing limit orders on all the chains. I think their BSC one's coming out very soon, but they even mentioned Polygon too. So I'm really excited for that. As I said earlier, Binance continues to promote NFT markets. They did like YouTube live streams, and they always post about NFTs. So I'm still waiting on NFTB to launch, but until then, that's one of my problems with NFTs on BSC, is we don't really have a strong marketplace for NFTs. I mean, sure, you can use things like OpenSeas and stuff like that, but there's no dedicated market yet. A lot of people claim to be, the up and coming one, but they're
Could
either
just be that
vaporware
Binance is doing it,
Yeah, exactly. Yokai, they finally launched their masks. For those of you who participated in Yokai a while ago. So now if you have your Rio tokens, you can go and claim them. ApeSwap has been partnering with a lot of different protocols. So has Berry Data. If you don't know what Berry Data is, it's basically an oracle in BSC. DuckDAO. Oh, I have a really bad taste in my mouth with DuckDAO. I like the way they do their private sales, but the quality of projects that are being launched on them are so trash. I'm on the Beach Club tier, which requires a certain amount of DDIM tokens, and not only has DDIM gone from like $100 to $10 each, that was a lot of money lost, but even some of these private sales, as soon as you get your vesting, a lot of times the vesting of the token and the price of the token is worth less than the private sale price you paid. And if you're not familiar with private sales, it's typically, besides seed sales, it's pretty, they give you a really good entry price, and that's why they add a vesting schedule, so that way, you invest in them early, then they raise more money on a pre-sale evaluation, then they launch, and so, ideally you would make money that way, but private sales right now, especially in this kind of market, not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Unless it's a strong fundamental token, of course. Lastly, last week's call, I went over my game plan for the bear market, how to make money in a declining market with stablecoin farms, how to, once again, gamify Venus, and how to use KuCoin. If you weren't able to make it, I mentioned KuCoin at the end. It's basically kind of like a Binance, but you don't need to use a VPN. You don't need a KYC. Unfortunately, of course, regulators are targeting KuCoin for those reasons. But in the meantime, it's kind of a cool channel you can use. Yeah. And lastly, just wanted to mention that, as I mentioned in previous calls, we always have to adapt to market situations, and I've taken on more responsibility helping Luke with other layer 2s and other chains, and so Polygon has really been on my radar. And so actually this upcoming week for my educational call, I'll be going over Polygon and Iron Finance. It's kind of insane. You may think it's BitConnect vibes, but I'm making 2% daily on stablecoin LP.
Yeah.
And that's insane. I mean, I told you about that, Dennis.
Yeah, I dipped into those farm Iron Finance and farming Titan the last couple of days. I didn't really farm, but I did a lot of calculations looking at Titan price too. It's crazy. Titan like 2x over the last 2 days, right? That's why the APY even skyrocketed more, and then so they say, okay, our APY is going up, so our TVL is going up, and then more people want to stake, but somehow Titan price is still going up, and I just don't understand why.
Exactly, and my favorite thing about Iron Finance is they actually collateralize pretty well their algo, because if you participate in Signage algorithm tokens, like SOUP and all these other tokens, they all are designed to fail. They just accrue too much debt. And so Iron, actually, if you read their docs, you can see the lowest point they've ever reached, and of course Iron is pegged to the US dollar, the lowest point it ever reached was 0.9966, and that was during that flash market crash on May 19th. That's pretty insane knowing that. And what I like about them is, unlike USDC or other stable coins, who, for example, USDC, I believe Coinbase, it's a Coinbase project, where every dollar is put in a vault per USDC minted, so that way, it's actual cash being backed 100%. What Iron does is they put it in a treasury. 75% of that money is invested in Aave, making money, and then 25% is held there for people who, if they want to cash out their Iron to get their money back. And if that 20% starts declining rapidly, then that 75% comes back from Aave to refill that 25%. So, and their target collateral ratio is pretty high. I mean, they have a good system. Knowing now, of course, there's always risks. So don't think, oh, this is, surely if they survive the flash crash. But I think, USDT, they've hit 87 cents once upon a time. So like knowing that, Iron has been pretty stable, it's comforting. But that's it for my week. I look forward to that call. Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks, Viper. Appreciate it. Especially, the thing with Iron and farming, whether Iron USDC or the Titan tokens. It's weird, but I don't know. It definitely is attractive. I haven't tried it yet. I've been following the APYs, but I don't know. I'm trying to grasp, in my mind, where the risk is to justify so high of APYs. But yeah, we'll talk about it after. Next up, we have Mahi going over this week's news and opportunities in Polkadot and the whole ecosystem, Polkadot, Kusama, upcoming parachain auctions, etc., which are really exciting. So, Mahi, what's up?
Hey, hello guys. Today I'll be recapping the news from the Polkadot ecosystem. First and foremost, we have developmental updates. The first 5 parachains on Kusama have been announced. A quote is, the first real functional world parachain, state mine, began processing permissionless transaction after an on-chain upgrade last week. After running smooth over the weekend, the time has come to move on to the next stage, slot auctions. So with this, the dates for the auctions were released on June 22nd at 9 GMT. The first parachain slot auction will begin, and 2 hours later the winner will be announced. And then June 22nd, an hour after that, the second parachain will start, and then there will be a short break there will be a 1 week break until on the 29th, the third parachain will start, and then a week after that. Some important information about this: each auction has an open bidding period of approximately 1 week and assigns a total slot duration of 48 weeks. Divided into 8 lease periods of 6 weeks. Auctions will start with an initial batch of 5 auctions, with a new auction taking place approximately every week. After this, auctions will switch to taking place approximately every 2 weeks. Each auction has an ending period that begins approximately 1 day and 21 hours after the start of the auction, and lasts until the end of the 1 week bidding period. The auction's end can be chosen at any point within the ending period and is automatically randomly chosen by the VRF at the close of the 1 week bidding period.
Okay.
Now let's talk about some crowd loans for the teams hoping to become parachains, because obviously they have to lock up some KSM to do so. But first let's define what a crowd loan is. For Polkadot and Kusama, a crowd loan is a way for new projects to garner the support they need to connect to Kusama or Polkadot network as a parachain. Your crowd loan contributions, which is KSM for Kusama projects and DOT tokens for Polkadot projects, are locked into either Kusama or Polkadot sponsored accounts for a designated period of time, which is known as the lock period. Typically during this lock period or after, you are eligible to receive a reward. This reward traditionally is usually in the form of a native token from the project. So now let's talk about some crowd loans that already happened this week. The Karura network actually ended this week. Karura is the decentralized financial hub of Kusama. It's a scalable multi-chain network for radical innovation and early Polkadot deployments. With the trustless staking derivatives, a multi-collateralized stablecoin backed by the cross-chain assets, and a DEX, all with micro gas fees, Karura is optimized for DeFi, and their native token is KAR. So some quick facts: for every one Kusama loaned, you will get 12 KAR, 12 plus KR. It depends on how many KSM are contributed, and refers got an extra 5%, plus early birds got an extra 10%. The Karura community raised over 350,000 KSM for their crowd loan bid.
This is pretty crazy.
All KSM will be returned when the lease ends. Also, I just want to put this to scale. This crowd loan raised 350,000 KSM. The max supply of KSM is only 10 million, meaning one parachain team is locking up 3.5% of the entire supply of KSM.
Like they raised $140 million. It's pretty insane.
Yeah. Yep. Supply is low for KSM and demand is very high. Another crowd loan that's actually still going, Shidin Network. Shidin is a dApps hub on Polkadot that supports Ethereum and Layer 2 solutions like ZK rollups. Shidin aims to be a multi-chain smart contract platform that will support multiple blockchains and virtual machines like EVM and WASM. To collect KSM as fast as possible, the Shidin teams has chosen to crowdfund its slot lease auction using Kusama's crowd loan mechanism. This allows KSM holders to contribute by locking up their own KSM tokens for 11 months, and the network will reward their contributions by providing SDN tokens. Shidin crowd loan participants have an 11-month vesting period, but token holders can stake locked SDN tokens to the network, allowing participants to earn staking rewards.
Okay. How much do they stake, do you know?
What? Sorry?
How much KSM did they raise so far?
I actually have that somewhere. I can pull it up right now.
Yeah, so this is Plasm's Kusama branch.
Yeah, I'm just talking. Yeah, I think so far they've raised 60,000 Kusama.
Still real good.
And I'm just talking about the top 4 crowd loans.
Yeah.
So the number 2 is Moon River. Moon River is the canary network of Moonbeam. Oh yeah, and one last thing about Shidin. The formula for estimating the SDN tokens per each KSM locked up is on the slide, or right there. So Moon River. Moon River is the canary network of Moonbeam, and it aims to bring Solidity smart contracts to Kusama. The Moonbeam Foundation has allocated 30% of the Moon River Network Genesis tokens, which in other words is 3 million mover MOVR, to reward Moon River crowdloan contributors. Of that, 30% will be distributed once the Moon River parachain is launched and transfers are enabled. Now, last one I'm talking about is Kala Network. Kala Network is obviously the canary network of Fala Network. Every KSM that supports Kala in the Kusama slot auction through the crowdloan will be entitled to 100 Fala as rewards. The fixed reward ratio for the crowdloan is intended to provide each participant with a full 100 Fala regardless of how many KSM are raised. When Kala wins a slot and runs as a parachain successfully, 34% of Fala in the reward pool will be vested to contributors' addresses immediately. The remaining 66% will be vested over 11 months. There's an additional reward for referrals if a crowdloan participant invites an additional participant who makes an additional contribution. They'll receive an additional reward of 0.5%. Also, this is an interesting thing. Users who successfully staked before June 22nd will receive an additional NFT and early bird bonus offer as an early bird bonus offered by Kala in partnership with RMRK,
Yeah.
which can be used to receive an additional 1% Kala bonus on contributing amount once Kala goes live. I think that was really cool to hear. RMRK is getting involved with completely unrelated projects, crowd loans to issue. This is like
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's completely unrelated. It was kind of expected. Like, so our market is the most mature kind of NFT ecosystem, right? So in Kusama.
yeah, I just meant to say that RMRK and Fala are doing different things.
Yeah. I think they're creative in their marketing, right? Like they, even though they want to onboard NFT artists and these brands launching NFTs, but they also they want to really integrate as part of the Kusama Polkadot ecosystem with what's happening right now, right? With the most exciting things are crowd loan auctions. So then, as they can use this to partner with them to launch their NFTs, so that it's like a partnership, and there's more eyes on RMRK, but the other projects get NFTs as well, which can use RMRK's technology to grant them more benefits. So yeah, I think they know how to partner. This is a really good initiative.
And this NFT actually does have utility. The holders of this NFT will receive a 1% Fala bonus on the contributing amount once the parachain goes live.
Nice.
So, on the topic of RMRK, I'm just going to read from that thread. RMRK raised $6 million to build Polkadot's advanced NFT system called NFT 2.0. RMRK is developing new standards to expand what NFTs can do. Some of these things are NFTs that can own other NFTs, NFTs that can listen to commands or issue them to their children, NFTs as DAOs that can, through fractional ownerships, be controlled by a group, NFTs that can react to emotion with conditional rendering logic, and NFTs that can have multiple resources at once. So this is really cool. It's from that article and that mega thread. RMRK is working on something called NFT 2.0, and all of these points I just read are like completely new ideas and super innovative for the NFT space as a whole, really.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it's future stages, but they've got, now that they've got the funding, right? They clearly have the connections to reach out into the most legit like parachains, to be parachains in Polkadot Kusama ecosystem, right? They already have teamed up with Kala, which is a Kala, Fala, which is Kala now. So yeah, they got the connections, they got the technology. Their platform is legit enough to be used for their own sort of egg launch, right? So they can support initial NFT offering already just with their own NFT. The marketplace is there, P2P market, just like OpenSea, and this is all native to Kusama or later on Polkadot or any parachains. Yeah, all in all, I think this is, if you like NFTs, you like Polkadot Kusama ecosystem, this is a really good project. That's why I bought a lot of eggs too. Super happy that you brought this up.
Yeah. Okay, and one last thing on the topic of parachain auctions. Currently, Karura Network, Kala Network, Darwinia Crab Network, Shiden Network, Polka Smith, which is Polka Foundry, Crush Shadow Network, Sherpa X, Bifrost, and Moonriver are all connected to Kusama as para threads. With para thread status achieved, these projects can begin their crowd loan campaign at any time. So that's just what it's showing there, and these are also probably the main competitors for the first 5 auction slots would be these teams that are connected to pair threads.
Yeah.
In other news, Bifrost Finance has opened its BSKSM mint drop channel. According to the Bifrost Kusama slot auction online launch, the official bidding phase for Bifrost Kusama slots will open on June 11th. Reserved users can participate in VSKSM minting 24 hours in advance, and the VSKSM minting channels for reserved users is now open with a total Kusama auction award of 3 million BNCs as a hard top reward of 250,000 KSM, with a reward ratio of 1 KSM equal to 11 plus BNC. 50% will be unlocked online, and the remaining 50% will be rewarded linearly over the 48-week parachain auction lease. This is I just noted this as it's kind of a different way to approach crowdfunding for a parachain auction bout. And this is Bifrost Finance minting this VSKSM, a staking derivative, and airdropping it. And this is touching back on something we talked about a couple weeks ago, Zenlink Slot Vault. I'll just touch over it if anyone forgot. Zenlink Slot Vault will allow users to choose the allocation of funds according to the income rate to participate in crowd loans of parachain projects, so as to obtain multiple token benefits from the crowd loan sponsors and their supporting projects. It will encourage more users to participate in parachain project crowdfunding, which in turn will increase the success rate of parachain project bidding slots. So this was kind of it was kind of like a basket fund where they would do it, and you just invest in the fund to get exposure to multiple Kusama parachains. And as you see, it was suspended. They said after careful consideration, the Zenlink team has decided to postpone the launch of the Zenlink slot vault, and it is expected to not be launched during the first parachain slot auction.
Right.
I just hope to see this come soon, because I was excited about this. One last thing. This is Cellframe Network. This is actually a Polkadot competitor. So Cellframe is a quantum-resistant Layer 1 network focused on facilitating secure and scalable cross-chain transfers. It's extremely similar to Polkadot, but I just want to note this. Currently, they are testing bridges between both Substrate and Bitcoin and developing the ideal launch pad, which is called CellPad. I want to be clear, I'm not endorsing this project, and I will say now the technology, partnerships, and integration are nothing compared to Polkadot, but it's important to note competitors when evaluating an entire ecosystem. So if you want to evaluate Polkadot and its pros and cons, I think you should be knowledgeable about the competitors too, and I think this starts with Cellframe Network. So that's all for this week.
Perfect. Really, really exciting stuff going forward, and I think it's starting to reflect in KSM price as well. You know, during the couple recent Bitcoin dips, KSM dropped, but then bounced very quickly. It was clear that there was demand coming from the crowd loan auctions, people buying up KSM to lock into these crowd loan campaigns. So and that's a good thing overall for Kusama and also Polkadot, right? Because when Polkadot parachain auctions come up, the same kind of price action will likely repeat for DOT as well, as projects go for crowd loans for parachains on Polkadot. So overall, looking forward to good things happening in Polkadot Kusama ecosystem. Thanks for the update, Mahi. Next up, I'm pretty sure we have American Crypto Wits, or Luna. This week covering, as usual, low cap and layer 2 stuff. I see you already have charts here going over Bitcoin dominance a bit, as I always enjoy. So let's get started.
Yeah, so how's it going, guys? I hope we're all having a good week. Let's open up with some Bitcoin dominance. On the weekly scale, we see that Bitcoin dominance has came down to a weekly trend line, or weekly support, my bad. It's taken a bounce. It wicked up to the orange trend line, and it's rejected from there. And this last couple of days, we've taken a bounce from this region, and it looks like we're about to print a double bottom on the weekly. if we go above the orange trend line from here, then I expect a lot of alts to really suffer, especially low caps and not fully developed coins. So like if the project is vaporware, then I expect them to really be affected. But currently we're in this range, and we might wick back up to the orange trend line again and face more rejection. But ultimately, I'm targeting that 58% red resistance as my main target.
Yeah.
Going to the daily. Going to the daily, we see this bounce in a bit more detail. It printed just below my support range before Bitcoin. I think it was due to Bitcoin's volatility. I think Bitcoin took a dump and then pumped right after that. And this saw Bitcoin dominance. Yes, this saw Bitcoin dominance from this low region, just below the support range, print clean through the support range, and it did have a brief pullback to the top of the support range, but it looks like it's going to print a bullish candle and confirm it as support, which would ultimately give us higher highs.
Yeah, I think so. I think you have really good. I like this trend line here, this orange, because I think that probably comes from a weekly like long-term support, right, which now turns into resistance. So
yeah, so that was the support held during DeFi summer.
Yeah.
Going back up to March, you can kind of see it at the end of July.
Yeah.
But it was held during May a lot closer. And during the end of DeFi summer, we see that it was wicking down to this trend line.
Yeah.
And it lines up really well if you pull it down just a little bit and meet it with the top of this.
This wick here, right?
Yes, this previous week in May, one of the first few weeks.
I like this because now it fits. The orange is long term, the daily is shorter term, but then you have this bounce. You make a higher low, right? And then now we want a higher high, which if we make for sure a higher high, then would be above the orange, right? If we get above the orange, it would pretty much be above the wick here. So that's confirmed a higher high. So that confirms a new uptrend. Two higher lows, two higher highs, right? So perfect there. If we get above the orange, then a lot more bleeding for altcoins.
Yeah, if we face some rejection at the orange trend line, the orange weekly trend line, then I may take a couple alt positions, but it would have to be pretty. It would definitely be a few select positions, and definitely managing my risk as best I can. So I'm definitely watching the orange trend line next, and we're either going to be in a descending triangle, if I'm correct on that, or we're going to break through.
Yeah, so the question is kind of here, if we break above, or kind of print like a double top kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you've detailed that well in all your drawings there too, so perfect, we're on the same page. And then the 4 hours, just a little bit of a cherry on top. There's nothing too interesting here. It formed a nice U shape just above the box, and I'm really sure this will be a confirmation of support, and we're probably going to break through this. I think it's 45.6% is where it faced that small rejection. So if we print above that, then we should be going. We should be.
We should be
the orange support.
Yeah, I think likelihood is we test here first, and then we see what happens.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyways,
so short-term altcoins, probably pretty risky. So for my conclusion on the weekly sentiment,
for the macro sentiment, I think Bitcoin is going to continue to uptrend. The weekly on the weekly we have the newly formed double bottom, and it's right on support. And like I've said, I think all it has to do is close through the orange trend line, and then it's pretty much definite higher highs from there.
Yeah.
So, and with this breach, I would expect most alts to go probably minus 50% from here, especially the weaker they are.
Fair. Yeah, we can even look at just kind of overall market cap, right? Like the lower the altcoin is in market cap, the more they will fall in a reverse alt season, right? So this period is like, you can look at the percentage of this Bitcoin dominance gaining, meaning like how much total market cap of altcoins will fall, and then you can kind of treat that accordingly, how much is attributed to Ethereum. If Ethereum falls like 20%, then lower caps will fall like much more than that. So it's something like that. There's some kind of calculation to be done there.
Yeah, and it's in my Bitcoin dominance class, I did cover it a little bit. There were some interesting statistics that I drew from this last dump, where that showed that a lot of alts were minus 50 to 80%, even more than that, on a 8% Bitcoin dominance gain. So
nice. Okay, that's good news to know.
If we go up to 58%, then we're probably going to see minus 50%, I think, across the board.
Okay.
Unless, we'll have a few strong performers, maybe like Ethereum and a select few from there, but even then it'll probably pull out a lot of the liquidity from them regardless. So
yeah. Makes sense.
Anyways,
so 8% Bitcoin dominance gain, about 50, somewhere between 50 to 80% for altcoins loss, right? That's the number you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really, really good numbers to know.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, I think Bitcoin dominance is the thing that we need to be watching right now, and especially with all these low cap positions and everything else.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so for news this week, not too much news. One thing I wanted to cover was Alchemist. They added, with their new update, they added Ethereum loans.
Is this live now?
And,
for Alchemist?
Yes,
for
this
ETH?
is.
Ooh, that I want to do.
So, it's something I wanted to check out too, but I don't want to be taking on a bunch of ETH right now, and just to test it for a loan. But anyways, so they added the Ethereum loans earlier this week, 1 or 2 days ago. You must collateralize these loans up to 400% though. So if you put in 4 Ethereum, you can.
Oh my god. Okay.
If you put in 1 Ethereum, you can take out. 4 Ethereum, then you can take out 1 Alchemist Ethereum or ALETH.
Yeah, ALETH. Okay, well, 400% is not too, Well, anyways, go ahead. There's a bit of a complex, like, what the real benefit there is, but we'll go in depth maybe after.
Yeah, I think they'll probably lower the collateralization rate after a period, but for now it's 400%. So probably not the most competitive loans, but at the same time, if you're interested in saving your Ethereum and taking out a loan, then this might be
the thing with Alchemist is it pays itself back, right? So it's like, instead of taking out a loan to gain more leverage, you can take out a loan that doesn't have leverage risk, doesn't have liquidation risk, conserves your gains in Ethereum, so like you have 100% of your position in Ethereum earning interest through Yarn, and then 400% collateralization, meaning 25% of that you can use for free anywhere else, even if you lose all of that. So it's like the big plus of that over Aave or something, other loans, is with others, you take out a loan and you must pay it back. So it acts as like you always take on more risk. Whereas Alchemist, you don't necessarily have to take on more risk. Over time, you do get your collateral back. It's the self-paying part that's good, but 400% meaning, you don't get too much there. Yeah, so they have to improve it. 400% is too high.
Yeah. So when they lower it, it'll be a lot more interesting.
Mhm.
But it's definitely something to note for anybody who wants to take out a risk-free loan against their Ethereum.
Yep.
ArcX released DeFi passports this week. This is just a limited batch of passports, and I think they cost 1,000 DAI for a passport.
Is this live? Oh my god, you're on top of everything ahead of me.
Oh, okay. You know what? I might be.
Yeah,
this
no,
might
I
not be
know
released
it's
yet.
out, but I mean, I know they said it's out, but I even checked the waitlist contract. I don't think it's live. Maybe it's live now, but there's a
Let me see
waitlist.
Twitter updates here.
Yeah, I don't think they have posted yet.
Yeah, maybe they're not live just yet, but this is the plans. They're
Mhm.
going to release a limited batch of passports for 1,000 DAI. I don't think we're going to have a good chance of getting anyone in here a passport. But over the coming weeks, as they release more and more and flesh out the bugs and problems, then it'll probably be much more obtainable. So definitely something to watch out for. And the benefits of an ArcX DeFi passport would be, with time, a lot of these lending protocols and farming protocols and airdrops and whatnot, they can link up with your DeFi passport and see your crypto credit score, and they can give you under collateralized loans or see how likely you are to sell off your airdrop or pull your liquidity from a farm.
Yep.
So they'll be able to give you better rates and whatnot. So definitely something to look into, but this limited batch is probably not for us.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm not sure how they're releasing it. I don't have any insider info. I did post the waitlist contract that I saw, which is like this was deployed right after they announced the V3 DeFi passport with the waitlist, but this hasn't been started yet. I checked the contract in here. They have to call you start the waitlist and then people can contribute. So I'm kind of watching this every day to see when someone sends a new transaction to this.
Yeah. Are you trying to get on a DeFi passport as quickly?
Yeah,
as
I'm trying to
possible?
get like the early waitlist, but I don't know who they're taking on first. They're probably selecting them.
Have you seen what they check for? For dumping white pre-sales.
No idea.
And airdrops.
Probably not pre-sale stuff. I think there was if you check on their development update, it's to start off. It's probably the main protocols like Uniswap, Aave, Compound, Synthetics, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in their latest, like the V3 DeFi passport announcement, they have some basics of what the first. Actually, I'm not sure, because if it's a credit score, just like a credit bureau, right, would do it, you wouldn't make the criteria completely public. So yeah, I don't know, but check on their development update. I don't remember correctly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm scared I'm going to get a bad credit score.
Okay.
Anyways, in other news this week, Malt crashed earlier this week, and I don't know too much around the specifics of Malt, but a lot of these farming protocols have stupidly high APYs, and they're not sustainable, and that's just one thing you have to watch out for when you farm. So like even I know Viper was talking about Iron and Titan at the beginning.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know the specifics around that, but it's just good to have be skeptical when approaching all these farms. Use only a select amount of money when you farm on these high APY farms, and yeah, just ultimately be careful when using high APY farms is the best way to put it. They're not sustainable. So just something to watch out for.
Yeah, treat it as like a risky altcoin. You just put in, if it's super high APY, then you put in a small amount. Even if you get like rugged, you can make back some of your gains through APY over time as you just sell. So in the end, even if it rugs, you're fine, right? So don't put all your money in there.
I think even on a lot of these, like just lending protocols and Uniswap and different different liquidity providing protocols, you can make a decent APY on ETH USD and wrapped Bitcoin, Ethereum. So it's just something to watch out for. I don't think it's worth the risk all the time.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the curriculum, we covered Bitcoin dominance the last 2 weeks, and we've covered the vast majority of Bitcoin dominance concepts. And then we covered how to apply these concepts to low caps and low cap trading. And I think everybody in the course now has a pretty good understanding of Bitcoin dominance and how to apply it on low caps, which I'm stoked about. I definitely made sure everybody was caught up and made sure everybody knew what I was talking about, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And next week we're going to have the crypto money flow, which details where money is likely to flow next into crypto, and this should be another good class for anyone who's new to crypto to check out also. And then the week after that, I'll detail how this affects low caps and low cap trading.
Okay.
Farming and staking, I'll do a small farming and staking class too, because I've noticed quite a few people in the Discord don't know how to farm. So I'll just do a brief write-up and cover a few protocols and how to lend on them, like DEXs or lending protocols or Bureau Finance. So I'll talk about those and do a quick write-up and possibly do a small class on it. But that's all in the works for now. And that won't be a part of the low cap curriculum. It'll just be its own rogue class.
Okay.
Going on to layer 2, I'm kind of just reiterated my farming points on malt. When farming, it's best to understand what you're farming. So, like if you're farming on Uniswap, you're mainly farming the fees. At one point, you could have farmed the governance token Uni, but that is not live currently. On other protocols, you'll farm the governance token, and some protocols you'll farm their algo stablecoin or whatever coin they're pushing out. Yeah. And that's the reason why you can get such a high APY. And it's ultimately best to know why you're providing liquidity and to understand why you're getting a high APY. So if you're getting a high APY because the fees of the protocol are racking up a ton of money, then that's probably a safer bet than you getting a governance token, which probably will decline in value once the token gets vested to you.
Yep.
So it's just smart to know to understand what you're farming. It's smart to diversify. We've seen time and time again these farms get exploited. Balancer is a big DEX that got exploited last summer. Cream has been exploited. Quite a few others have been exploited that I'm spacing out on. So it's definitely diversify. Know your yield, know your APY. I threw this in because you want to have the most competitive rates for your APY and yield. So maybe throw in just if there's low fees on the network, maybe just throw in $100 or $1,000 or whatever and see what the APY is. Yep. Make sure so it's like an easy calculation, and and then it's easy to see where to put your money from there. And then be in a place with lots of volume is probably the best is definitely the best for racking up lots of fees. So be on Uniswap, Sushi, or one of the other big DEXs or protocols. And this is my tips for farming. I don't like farming these high percentage farms, but I think I'm going to in the near future, just with a small amount of funds though. It's all about being smart and not losing your capital.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Just test it out. You know, if APY is high, then you put in a smaller amount. But I think the point you made really good is understand what you're farming, where the yield is coming from. This is really good. Some are fees, some are tokens, and the APYs are only high because the tokens are arbitrarily going up in value, but the tokens are overvalued because they're too early. Or sometimes, you know, it's high APY because nobody's in that pool, right? So you have to look at pools that actually have high TVL already. Otherwise, you know, if there's only $50,000 in there and you put in another 50,000, then the APY would drop 50% instantly just from you diluting that pool. So yeah, this is a really good point to understand, like where the APY is coming from. The fee part is the best, like, you know, and that's where Uniswap V3, that's what most of the farm rewards come from. This is like actual utility, or they're trading on the protocol, versus like government tokens and etc. It's iffy. It could be just short-term hype. Definitely good
it often is too. So it best to farm the fees, I think, and they will have less APY, but ultimately they're a lot more stable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like my last point, you want to be in a place with lots of volume. So you want to be on Ethereum, BSC, PancakeSwap, Solana, Polygon, anywhere where there's lots of volume, you want to move your liquidity there. So those are just my tips for farming. And just some more layer 2 news. Our Bitrum, it should be going live in the next 1 to 2 weeks. I looked on the website and Off-Chain Labs, and there's nothing too new coming out. But they should be going live in the next week or two. So that's definitely something to watch out for, as they have a lot of big backers and a lot of big projects already on their network.
Yep.
So definitely something to watch out for. And bridging should be pretty easy, and it should be it might spur on a new DeFi summer, especially if Bitcoin dominance drops from here. So
hopefully.
Bunch of stuff to watch out for. Tons of opportunity. Just kind of matters how you look at it, and if you protect your capital correctly. So, anyways, that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks for the in-depth Bitcoin dominance and low cap layer 2 coverage for this week, Luke. Appreciate it as always. We're kind of pushing towards 1 hour. Let's just move into the next topic very quickly. We have Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin and Ethereum price analysis, technical analysis done by Wonka, and I'll also jump in a bit to comment. But I think most of our analysis currently fits. Wonka, if you're here, take it away. And in the meantime, I'll shut off the cam for a brief moment.
Hello guys, I'm so excited today. And I'll put the bears to the sleep for the final time today. Let's start with the weekly, as usual from top to bottom. I'll be sending out charts in events content. We're still in the bull run channel, and I have some different scenarios for the macro trends. But before I get into there, I want to tell you something. We've been 3 weeks under weekly 21 EMA. Forget 34. Weekly 21 EMA. 1 month under daily 200 EMA. You think if bears were here, they would not have taken control already? The candle should be telling you the better story than anybody in this world. This case is that the wave 3, the macro trend wave 3, the green count is not finished yet. And most likely, and in Bitcoin updates, I showed you where is it going to top out. And just one question, guys, not asking you, but like everyone would say that they would buy the dip of 50%, 60, 70% in the bear market, and we are in the bull market, and people are saying they're not gonna buy here, this logic is flawed to me. This is the second case where the macro wave 3 has peaked, and we are potentially entering multi-month sideways triangle, most likely correction, and I don't expect until December to see if in this case I don't see anything until December 2021 to see any major move from Bitcoin, and I've measured it with the 5th time tool, and with that the target is from 133 to 200k. If we go on to the daily, as I said, guys, the resistances we have right now are the daily 200 EMA, weekly 21 EMA, and weekly 34 EMA. Major resistances are at 42k and 47. Why 47? There is nothing at 47, and why do I choose 47? That's because if we are in the downtrend channel, the 47 is the low of wave 1, and by no means wave 4 cannot enter there. If we see rejection at 47, that's just gonna increase the bear chances a lot. If we move on to the 1 hour chart, I'm sending all the charts in the events content, guys.
Yeah, I see it.
On the 1 hour chart, the wave 2 likely bottomed out, and I would have, like, we already saw the price advance there, but the breaking the golden pocket there would have been horrible for the bulls, which would also result in the break of the bull channel, and yeah, that didn't happen.
Sorry, where's the? You mean the Fibonacci there you mapped out? 60?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Breaking that golden pocket would have been really bad. So I had 2 cases today, and they already played out. They're done on 15 minutes and 1 hour. This was the double combo case, and I had the red line there, break that red line, and we were out of the woods. And this was the second case which I had, the divergence on 1 hour, and this is the one that is playing out right now. I've been updating constantly in the Bitcoin and trading floor, Bitcoin updates channel and trading floor, so those who were there, you've been following it, guys. With regards to Ethereum, the weekly channel is looking good. I have 2 targets for the Ethereum. 1-to-1 extension of Ethereum of wave 1 and wave 5 finishes at 10k, so 10k might be the top for Ethereum. But I would not count on that, since the FOMO part is yet to come. And as I said, I think 2 weekly calls ago, I said that I'm worried about how to preserve the money in this FOMO part that is yet to come. I'm expecting us to reach the 20k range, and we are still in the bull channel. But in the upcoming weeks, I don't expect much from Ethereum because it's Bitcoin time, and usually when the grandpa is on the move, alts, they're sleeping. On the 4-hour chart on Ethereum, I'm assuming that we are in big triangle and potentially forming another triangle in the lower time frame. And I've tried, I did the wave analysis on it on 1 hour chart, and this is what I'm expecting from Ethereum. This is not going to be the impulse that is going to lead Ethereum above all-time high or something. Ethereum is still in correction. Yep. After this C point is reached, we're gonna shoot down again. This is it for the updates, guys. But let me show you something. As I said, I'm gonna put the bears, the last death note for them.
Yeah.
I'm sure all of you are aware of the Wall Street cheat sheet.
Delusional bears cheat sheet. I love this.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys know who's the biggest bear in right? Our friend Ken. And I asked him to be on this weekly call. And if you're just going and let me resend again the most important part. Please read for your own, guys. What does it say? All us bears are going to be rich. Bitcoin to 1K end of year. And I remember clearly all the bull talk, all the bear talk, guys, from 1K to 1 million in 1 year. We are all going to be rich. Bear Nation, whatever. I'm not doing this to jab my friend Ken's, but I'm doing this for educational purposes.
Yeah.
We were in bear euphoria, guys, and I was keeping this card. I wanted Price to confirm that, and once I saw the confirmation, I'm sending this out. Sending this out. I also have some cards preserved that I'm gonna share once we break certain levels. And only that, guys. If you didn't know even TA or anything, or you were bearish or something like that, right? Only this chart, these words, were enough to see that bears were euphoric here, and it was time to get in the market. And on the last note, guys, as I said, the FOMO part is yet to come, and it's gonna be fast. Reaching the top will be fast, and blowing off the top will be fast as well. But if you go on social medias right now, you'll see that.
Oops. Yeah. No. It's okay. Maybe. Yeah.
You will see that everyone has their laser eyes on, or they're like they feel in the war. They're in war mindset. So that's where you want to be careful, guys. Because once we start pumping, everybody will feel relaxed at some point. Everybody will feel that above 100K is the new paradigm for Bitcoin, and that's exactly where you want to be bearish, because no such thing exists at this point yet. Because whales, those who move the market, they don't care about your laser eyes or anything like that. They care about making money. And those big guys, they were buying at 3K. You think they're not gonna sell off market with 70 or 50% once we reach 150K? I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
So once you see the confidence in the market, once you see the relaxation in the market, the longs with 125 pigs, good mood, all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, totally makes sense. I think. Sorry, did you cut off Wonka? Oh, wait, who muted Wonka? What?
I'm here. Yeah, I was muted right now.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear me?
I hear you now. Hear you now.
So I was saying that, yeah, when everybody will feel confident, or when everybody will feel, I don't know, like that this is new paradigm, that's where you have to be bearish, guys. Not when things are minus 60% off or 50% off.
Yeah. Absolutely. Does that conclude your analysis, Wonka? Everything that you wanted to cover?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I pretty much just agree. Not specifically on like, oh yeah, the price levels, like what this is all exactly correct. Like we all have our own trading systems, right? And each of your indicators and your wave counts way better than I do. But I think the overall strategy I do agree with. It's not always like every trader gets delusional, whether it's bullish or bearish, right? When you start to feel like a genius, it's time to fade. It's time to you get taught a lesson. So I'm not saying specifically right here, I think all the bears are gonna die, and that's not necessarily the case. But if you just look at overall sentiment across the market, right, in the Discord, like there hasn't been much bullish talk, right? If you look at our videos on TikTok and everything, Google search for Bitcoin, right? Certainly now, like crypto sentiment is way lower than a month ago, right? So, so just comparison's sake, right? You can't say, oh, we are more bearish, or this is more risky to buy now than a month ago. That's simply not the case. Yeah, just to kind of put your things in perspective, like I've been saying this since we had this crash, right? Like every time we did a up or down move, people were saying we're gonna moon or crash to zero, but in reality, right, like I've been saying this the whole time, we're just going sideways, really, in my mind, right? People are over-analyzing this kind of sideways here, right? Like, yeah, we have this diagonal here, diagonal on the bottom. Every time we print a low, you know, people were saying, oh, this like trend line needs to be respected. So, you know, when we dip below here, people were like, oh, we broke below it, but you see V-shape, right? So we just get right back above. This is the kind of traps the whales will play. So same thing, right? If we do another kind of upwards here, people will say, oh, this is a big breakout, and then we do like a barred pattern here. You can't be surprised by that, right? Just gotta be honest. Like, it's not necessarily that you are right or wrong in this case, whether you're bullish or bearish. It's just having a too strong of a bias too early is not beneficial for your wallet, right? Obviously, like long term, I think we're all very bullish on crypto, but or if you just simply hate crypto, just wait until this clearly breaks below 30K. Then, like, I think you have a much stronger case, and that can actually make you money. Same thing for upwards, right? I think a relief bounce is still way more likely to happen before we decide any sort of major bearish, if that is the case, back up towards these, like we've had these levels a long time ago, 45 to 50K range, right? In these green box here. Right. If it is a bear market, I think we do something like this first, other than just doing that, right? But either way, like, don't overanalyze stuff if you don't know what you're doing. If you're not trading the short term and you're trying to look at long term, zoom out, right? Is this bullish or bearish? Long term, you can argue for both ways. So treat that as the fact, right? We've had this long run up, so is this about time that we can make a correction? Yes, we could cool down, but have we made a long-term lower high yet? A lower low yet? No, we haven't. So watch this red like 30K range, and then watch if we break above this range, then see if we actually make a new uptrend, right? That's it. Don't, like, people are trying to look at like 4 hour or 1 hour time frame to decide. You know, they're way too zoomed in on these like small moves, like this one and this one, same as this one and this one, and every time there's a move there, they're trying to jump in the early bias right away, and they're getting wrecked. So of course, if you're trading the short term, that's what you should be looking at. You know, if you're closing trades like every day. But if you're trying to decide if we're in a bull or bear market, there's nothing there. So that's, at least in my view, right? So that's what I'm still waiting for, either a break. I think even 43K is way safer to use as a level, right? If we do manage to get even higher, I need to see a break above 43 for any sort of relief rally to continue. And then, you know, I would say short-term bullish. And also bearish, you know, I need to see break below 30. So we can avoid one of these like V shapes that traps all the bears, right? Like, especially when we got below here, I can tell you, like, all the bears came out and said, oh, we are going to 10K, but clearly that didn't happen, right? And then same thing, you know, when we get close to here, all the bulls will say, oh, we're going to a new all-time high. Could that happen? Yeah, but it's much better to say it when we actually confirm a new uptrend, just so that you don't slap yourself on the face. But nonetheless, you know, it's good to, overall, I respect a more, honestly, I'm bullish crypto long term. That's why I'm in this industry, right? So I think overall, looking at history, it's better to be long term bullish than bearish. Just for risk to reward, because crypto has been long term going up more often than down. But nonetheless, yeah, right now, just zoom out. Like, what is this? There's nothing here. It's still just sideways. So yeah, don't try to fool yourself into kind of a trade that you want to happen but hasn't confirmed yet, then you can try to jump the gun and say I was right without something there, but your wallet's not gonna thank you for that. So anyways, thanks for the analysis, Wunka. I really like the last point there that you made with the
Beer euphoria. I know.
yeah, the delusional euphoria. Like both bulls and bears can be euphoric, and it's good to recognize that one of these V shapes. I think this was the perfect example here. Like, this is not the time to short. Clearly not here. If it does this is the time to short. Same thing, right? If we make a new towards 43 here, you can look for longs, but you wouldn't long when we get close to here. You would long when we clearly breaks, and then on the retest, here you say the new uptrend is confirmed. Not when we get close. This is a trap, potentially a trap. But when we get above, this retest here is way less likely to be a trap. So yeah, don't get euphoric too early. Yeah, when there's actual new uptrend or downtrend, then you can start to jump caps. Yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents.
So, thank you guys.
Thanks, Wunka. Appreciate it. And you now go by Samurai Jack now. I like that name.
Yeah.
Let's do some Q&As. We'll go through Discord first and then go through YouTube just for maybe 10 minutes or so, and then we'll end it at around an hour and 30 minutes for today's stream. We'll try to aim for 1 hour next week, but we're already getting there. Hope this one's not too long, but we just want to make sure we cover everything. Okay, so let me just scroll all the way back up. Okay, we don't have too many questions. That's good. Just the quality ones. Okay, so Kiyaona says, what about a double retest? Double retest as in, I'm not sure where you, how likely is it that numerous retests are necessary to confirm an up or downtrend? Yeah, so typically there's a saying in the markets that you typically get second chances very often. Third chances not as often, but fourth chance typically it means it's a fake. So what do I mean by that, right? So let's say you want to let's say you're looking at 43 as the key here, right? And you want to buy on the retest. So you want to long on the breakout above 43k. Let's make sure this is 43 here, 43. So the first break retest, right? This is optimal, but usually if you miss this first breakout, usually there will be a second retest. So the first retest is typically very tight. So something like this within the day. Most people miss this. And then they'll FOMO in somewhere here. But then typically markets do give you second chance just to shake out the first batch of people that bought in on this way up here. So this retest here will stop loss of most people that FOMO'd in late. Typically second chances do happen. Third chance is very rare. If you get a fourth chance, this typically means we're going back down. Yeah, fourth chances are very rare. So typically if it's fourth chance, that means that the move is likely not going to happen. So yeah, that's why I think some examples we could look for is I think if you go on the ETH chart, I remember this pretty clearly with ETH around $430 ish. I made quite a few TikToks then to say like the new breakout retest was happening, just as an example here, right? So last September ish, so you see we had this zone here, right, with this whole thing as consolidation, level here, we could say between these two red lines, right? I think even this first red line was 430. You see, and then this was the bottom there. So this was the crash of the DeFi summer. Then we had like about 2 months of consolidation. Then you see the first breakout here. This was technically a retest. You see this daily candle. I'm pretty sure I made a video here on November 7th on my TikTok. Pretty sure I made one. You can go check. And then some people went in a little bit later here, and then you see we had a second chance here. These people that went in a bit late some of them got stop loss here. And then you see this is the second chance, and then we had this. Now, you could say this is a third chance, but technically this maps to the top of this line there. So this is still not so off, right? However, if we didn't make consecutive higher lows here, if we had another retest down to this range, why is it mapping like that? Yeah, if we had another retest back into this range, that would have been risky. But as you can see, we made consecutive higher lows there, so that was a good thing to see. Yeah, so typically second retests happen quite often. Third is still there, but usually we want. So this is first retest, right? Second retest. Third one, we already want to see a higher low, and then fourth one, especially, we don't want to see like another same low, right? Yeah, so that's typical to most markets. That's at least typical enough to have a common saying is markets typically give you second chances and third chances, but not fourth. Yeah, very good question. What's your TikTok? Yeah, Virtual Bacon and BaconDAO. Wow, you didn't come from the Virtual Bacon TikTok. That's cool. Look up Virtual Bacon on TikTok. Also BaconDAO. Cool. Any thoughts about the whole Flare network airdrop of XRP? I haven't looked into it much recently. So Flare network is like Ripple XRP's sister network that supports smart contracts. Not sure what's happening there right now. Are you still bullish? Are you still buying ETH at these levels? Not currently, but yes, if you look at the levels I have on the charts right now, this is one exception that I think is performing very well against Bitcoin is Ethereum. If you look at 21 weekly, weekly right here, right? Let me just make this bold here, style, bold, bam, right? 21 weekly EMA currently 2170, right? And the previous top here around 2000. So in my eyes, I think anywhere from 2000 to 2200 is a very good buy right now. Not necessarily because it will for sure bounce, but because the first major crash, this one here, let me just, why is it so, yeah. I think the 200 daily would agree with us. Yeah, 200 daily also works. So you see this major crash, we had respected this level and bounced from it, unlike the case on Bitcoin where we crashed way below the 200 daily EMA. It also respected the 2000 level, which was the previous consolidation here. So that's why I'm saying ETH is, it's technically still in a bull market. This is a bull market dip for ETH. So that's why I'm still employing the same strategy for buying dips on ETH. And that right now is kind of this range here between these highs, so $2,000, and around 2200, which is a 21 weekly EMA. So right in this zone here. Let me mark that in green. There. That's my buy zone currently. Anywhere here, I think it's good. Not necessarily because it will just bounce right away, but because if we fall back into this range, we have the 200 daily EMA, we have 21 weekly EMA, so we have a very tight stop loss, right? So obviously buying this range, the profitable case is if it bounces, right? The losing case is if it drops below. But because this blue line is so close to it, we also have this red line above here, the support at $2,000, that is so close that even if you lose money, you only lose a very tiny bit. So yeah, that's my current buy zone for ETH, between 2,000 to 2,200. Okay, questions from YouTube. Nice. Let me also check just the YouTube chat. How about collateral? Great question. What do you think about Stellar? Honestly, I haven't analyzed most of the large caps yet, but I think most of them have dumped below their key long-term support. So you can't really say they're in a bull market right now. So only thing I know for sure that I'm comfortable buying the altcoin is ETH right now, even when Bitcoin dominance looks to be trending up. So that includes like any of your low caps, like collateral DeFi, like Stellar, whatever it is, from high cap to low cap. It's all the same. You look at Bitcoin dominance. Some questions from YouTube. Curious if there's any other projects you were bullish on with BTC dominance doing its thing. Yeah, so previously I was also bullish on Dogecoin because the people that invest into Doge are simply a different crowd from those that invest in Bitcoin. So you see I had these charts here before. Let me just sign that. Right. So I made a video here on this breakout of this trend line here. And if we are to complete the fractal here that we had back here, so break of this trend line right into an uptrend, then we needed to break these two red resistance lines between 41 cents to 45 cents ish. But you see we had a rejection here, and now we are back level to these lows that we made there. So now typically with Doge, I like to long into strength instead of buying the bottoms, because if Doge is not hyped up, there's no trade there. Fundamentally, Doge is way overvalued, right? So there's no like buying the bottom. So that's why I've said in the Discord that I've closed my position on the way down here, still in the tiny profit. My current trade with Doge is if it actually breaks above 45 cents ish, I will probably long on the retest here. But before then, this is kind of looking iffy now, because if we take out all the charts here and zoom out a little bit, you could make the case that this is a head and shoulders. So we really need to invalidate this third shoulder here. How do you invalidate that is getting back above the high here. So getting back above around here. So breaking above the first shoulder, the neckline of the head there, and then the third shoulder here. So right now, not saying Doge is necessarily bearish, and Doge somewhat is still decoupled from Bitcoin, just because the Doge crowd is so different from the Bitcoin crowd. But the trade is still there, but I just need to see a break above 43 to 45 cents range, then I'll long on the retest. But right now, no position in Doge. But this is still one to watch. When I look at Doge, I don't really care about Bitcoin dominance. But most other altcoins, except for Ethereum and Doge, I think will depend on Bitcoin dominance. At least that's the ones that I've researched so far. Doge is also not listed on Coinbase, so more non-technical people will be able to invest in it. Yeah, I think Doge is mostly hype, right? Most of these pumps have been correlated with Elon. So, if Elon tweets something again or some major news, like I'm going to make a public appearance, talk about Doge, then there will be speculation again. I'm surprised dominance doesn't continue up in this bearish period. I think it already is, right? We've talked about this briefly, and I have these charts here as well, right? I made one TikTok, I think, about this, where on the daily, we have now confirmed a higher low. So just need to confirm a new higher high, right? Get above this high here. Then that's clearly an uptrend in Bitcoin dominance, in which case altcoins are looking very shaky. Not necessarily falling in dollar value, but you are better off holding Bitcoin when Bitcoin dominance is making an uptrend like this, because Bitcoin has higher market cap, so lower risk. And when we are in periods when Bitcoin dominance is going up, Bitcoin is going to outperform altcoins. So you are taking out more risk, but not getting more reward when for being an altcoin during these kind of uptrend in Bitcoin dominance. So yeah, that's why it's better to be in. If you are bullish in crypto in general, it still makes sense to be more in Bitcoin right now. If you think crypto in general is still has major downwards move to go in dollar value, then it makes more sense to be in fiat. But yeah, just overall uptrend in Bitcoin dominance is not good for altcoins. Just wish it wasn't just Doge. There was also a promo for people to purchase $100 worth of Doge on Coinbase, potential to win like 300K. Wow, love to see coins decouple from Bitcoin dominance. Yeah. I don't know. These meme coins is a niche by itself. It's something to watch, honestly. If you can effectively, profit from meme coins, then more power to you. We're just here to make money, right? You're not saying fundamentally meme coins are the future, but if you can make money, then you make the money, right? So that's why it's not great to hate on Doge. It makes sense to say when something is like clearly hype and explain that it's just hype, so that the people that are saying this is the future financial ecosystem, that's not going to happen. So just correct people on that and say you clearly need to look at the charts and look at the tweets, and when there's actual FOMO coupled by a uptrend breakout, then potentially there's trades there, but just treat it as a trade. Don't hodl Doge. That makes no sense, right? So, do you think ADA is affected by BTCD? Yes, absolutely. Every single altcoin. ADA, Polkadot, Chainlink, Binance Coin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, everything that I've seen is affected by BTC right now, BTCD, except for Ethereum and Doge, the ones that I have analyzed. All right. Anyways, thanks for jumping in the stream this week. Appreciate everyone's questions. I see some questions. Yeah, please talk about ETA Automata. Yeah, it's a good project fundamentally. It falls in the same category of low caps that have decent fundamentals, but will highly depend on Bitcoin dominance and when the alt season starts. Top 3 NFT virtual land for sale. Just look at the landscape. Crypto Voxels, Sandbox, Decentraland. That's the ones that come to mind. Yep. Haiti is already shilling some shitcoins. Yeah, just don't even bother. It's not going to outperform if Bitcoin dominance is going up, if we're in a reverse alt season. Okay, guys. Seems like that's it for this week. I haven't seen much more questions. Yeah, it's good to stay grounded in this level. Again, remember, I'll make a TikTok video about this today, about like how to position yourself, reason with yourself psychologically to say, looking at the Bitcoin chart, and if you agree with my analysis that we are mostly just sideways chop, people are getting chopped up, right? And you're trying to make money, but there's no up or down direction that's clear yet, then what do? You're so like itchy on like making trades right now. the true alpha here is conserving your capital, because when everyone gets chopped up, when all the people, when everyone else will have lost their money enough so that the whales actually carry us into the next major move, whether it's up or down. You know, how to reason with yourself to know that even if you've done nothing in this period, that was the best case to actually make you actually profited by doing nothing. Why? Because during these periods, right, when you are, say, safe and stable and conserving your capital while everyone else is losing money, then technically you are beating everyone else, right? When you're in an uptrend, everyone is like, during this period, right, everyone is trying to outdone each other. Oh yeah, I beat out everyone else. You made 20% profit. Bitcoin up 20%, but I made 50%. Yay, I made profits. I'm a good trader. But when it's uncertain like this, you cannot have the same kind of mentality to say, oh yeah, like Bitcoin is not doing much, but I'm beating everyone else. Having that same kind of mentality will hurt you in this case. Because if everyone else is losing, you just simply need to stay at zero, not lose, not win and not lose, then you still win. That's the kind of mentality you need to have with yourself, is surviving in this range is the winning. If you can pick individual winners to even profit in this range, then wow, like you are amazing. You're most likely a scalper up and down here, right? Like you would have, long the bottom here, shorted the top, and then you would sell up here again, long down here again, sell up here again. That's very, very advanced. But for most 99.9% of people that like look into longer term, the real alpha right now is conserving your capital and surviving. So yeah, just look back at the past couple weeks since this major crash. It has been 26 days now, 25 days, 3 weeks. Look back at those 3 weeks. What actions did you take? Were you trying to jump into longs or shorts too early and you lost money? Don't do that again. Did you jump into altcoins too early and you lost money? Don't do that again, right? And then look back at your favorite people that you think are geniuses. Did they make money? If they didn't make money during these periods, then chances are they are better off. They're better traders at these bullish periods. But do what actually makes you money. Don't try to just always try to outdone people and make profits. When there's no profits, stay out, right? So it sounds not exciting, but yeah, like you're not an influencer. You're not trying to like prove to everyone that you're always right. You're trying to make money. So in that case, not losing money is making money, right? So just my 2 cents there. Obviously, I wish I can give you some kind of trades, and there are a couple opportunities that I see that could last way into the longer term, like RMRK and ARCX, 2 coins that I'm heavily invested in right now, even despite all this sideways and Bitcoin dominance and whatever, right? Because those are fundamental investments, because they are effectively the prices we're getting in at with these 2 coins are very similar to big venture capitals, their private sale levels. And we're getting even a better deal because there's no vesting. But aside from that, unless it's those kind of coins, if you're looking at like trading price action of ADA, Stellar, any altcoins, just don't bother, right? It's not gonna happen. Yeah, so be honest with yourself. We're trying to make money. We're not trying to be right. So that's it. I think that's about it that I have for this week. I'll put my thoughts a bit clearer into a couple of videos today and tomorrow with regards to conserving your capital is the winning trade when there's no clear winning trade, right? You're beating everyone else. If everyone else is losing, then you not losing is winning. But yeah, thanks for jumping into the chat today. appreciate you guys being here. The fundamental investments, I mean, just look back at the chat, but I'll make a couple more videos on those as well. Appreciate you guys, as always, that are tuning in on Discord, on YouTube. Unfortunately, we couldn't get TikTok to work yet again this week. TikTok, please enable streaming for my channel. But aside from that, hope you guys have a good week. As usual, like I've been always ending on this note, surviving, try to survive, stay safe, right? I've said this in 3 previous weekly calls now. So try to survive, stay safe, wait for the next uptrend or downtrend to develop. That's, I think, the best advice that I could give you. Thanks guys. That's it for me. I'm gonna sign off now. If any team members or anyone has any closing thoughts, feel free to jump in. Otherwise, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in the server. Tune in for more calls, and of course, BaconDAO token is planned to launch somewhere in July. We have announced our DAO maker, and all of our content, everything with all kinds of services that are educational focused will come with it. Stay tuned for that. Spread the word about BaconDAO. And see you guys next week.
Yeah, guys, have a good Sunday. See you guys next week. Thank you very much.